Check this Tosh out, fresh off the press. The so-called return to the moon, Artemis 1, and what do we get? Look!
Well, yeah, I'm looking at some spectacular images of the Earth from space. So, Flat Earth Observer, have you got any actual physical or provable or actual evidence, any evidence whatsoever to back up your claims, apart from saying that it's a load of old tosh?
We got Thunderbird-style fucking spacecraft.
That's it, is it? That's it. Thunderbird-style spacecraft. Wow, you're going to have to come up with something a bit better, Slinky. Yes, welcome back to my little channel that debunks nonsense without actually knowing what it's talking about. If you're a massive fan of the Creaky Blinder, like what I am, go and sub to his channel, that'd be fantastic. You'll know why I called him Slinky, because it's really funny. It is. Slinkies are fun to watch falling down the stairs, and it would be equally as funny if Flat Earth Observer fell down the stairs too, because I love people hurting themselves. I watch it all the time on YouTube and TikTok. It's the funniest thing. Anyway, back to the video now. An old Slinky, the alleged crane driver, has got some problems with the images that Artemis 1 has sent back.
Check this Tosh out, fresh off the press. The so-called return to the moon, Artemis 1, and what do we get? Look!
Now, if you don't know who the guy is with the rather impressive tash, that is Kevin Lloyd, who played Tosh lines in The Bill. I add that in because, well, I think it's funny, and I don't care if you don't. Oh no, there's a glitch there, did you see it? There's a glitch. CGI.
Could have stayed with it.
And as we continue to marvel in this spectacular image here in Mission Control Houston, you have a great view of the Orbital Maneuvering System, or OMS, and
Marvel? Have you been on them wild mushrooms again, my dear?
My dear, what a condescending...
You're showing the Earth to be something that's scientifically impossible. Well, you're doing it in a mocking fashion here. We got Thunderbird-style fucking spacecraft, a daft globe Earth, which of course is ridiculous. Long gone is the conversation about the shape of the Earth. It's demonstrably level, tested and verified by all. So there's no marvel here. This is ridiculous. I thought they might at least try and up their game to help out their deluded fans. But look!
Oh, the only ones that are deluded, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver, are your subscribers. They hang on your every word. They believe every word that you say without any evidence, because you don't post any evidence in your videos. Absolutely none. Zero, zilch, kaput, nothing. You don't post any evidence. Nothing. You say that the globe is scientifically impossible, but you don't come up with any experiments, and you don't perform any experiments to show some evidence that the globe is scientifically impossible. You say that the Earth is obviously and observably level. Great. Measure it. Level isn't flat. Level isn't a shape. So what is the shape of the Earth? Answer me that, Mr. Slinky. What is the shape of the Earth?
in that main engine on the top left of your screen there that was used 1 hour and 43 minutes.
Ah, another glitch. CGI. Owen, help. Some help.
Minutes ago to perform the OTC, or outbound trajectory correction maneuver, as well as a few of the auxiliary engines on the bottom of the European service module, flanked by the solar array wing on the right portion, right above the...
That's enough of that glitching out, my dear. It's not easy, is it, to big up bullshit? And, you know, I can see you're struggling. And no doubt because it looks ridiculous. Why? Because it is ridiculous.
If it is so obvious that it's ridiculous, show us some freaking evidence, man.
Even if I was a globe believer.
But you are a globe believer. You know it. I know it. I know that you are doing this for shits and giggles, and that is all you're doing it for.
Say I banged me head and I just thought reality was exactly the opposite to what could be tested and verified by all.
It's been tested, it's been verified, the Earth is a globe. You know it, and I know it.
And I had all the Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica box sets to help me on my deluded journey. Even then, I'd be looking at this and thinking, that is terrible, lads. Terrible.
That's it. That's it. It's terrible, it's terrible. That's your evidence that all this is fake, is it? And the worrying thing is that your sheep, your subscribers, are taking all this in. That's the worrying thing. God, there's some deluded people out there. Anyways, on to his second video now, and apparently Flat Earth is dead.
Flat Earth is dead.
See?
You're probably thinking, Adam, what are you talking about? Let me show you. Now this is what I mean when I say the Flat Earth is dead. The propaganda version. Like we see on our screen here. The version that very few people believed in the first place. Some were foolish enough to cling on to stuff like this. Straw man maps, models, misrepresentations, crazy crossover, fantasy worlds, and misrepresentations. Like I said, you type this into Google, this is what you get.
Do you want to know why cartoons pop up when you type in Flat Earth? It's because there's no photos of the Flat Earth anywhere. None. High altitude photos of the oceans and the seas and the continents? Non-existent. No photos of the ice wall either. No photos of the dome. Nothing. Absolutely bugger all. That is why you get cartoons when you type in Flat Earth, because it is a cartoon and it is ridiculous.
And yet no one on this earth believes this, Tosh. A lot of cases you've got this disc or this pancake hovering in some heliocentric vacuum, mixing delusions, painting a picture which is a misrepresentation, blending two silly delusions together and hoping that people buy into it or blindly defend it.
Tell you what, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver, why don't you send up a weather balloon? Take some high altitude photos of this mythical level Earth that you think you live on. That would be fantastic for you to actually provide some evidence to back up your claims.
Like I say, a few might have bought into this silliness in the early days, but of course the flat earth is simply demonstrable science that can be tested and verified by all. That's it. No one can refute that.
So you are a flat earther. All these years you've been denying that you're a flat earther, and now you're saying that you're a flat earther. Wow, you've joined the cult of flat earthism. Well done to you. But this mythical flat earth hasn't been tested at all. It hasn't been verified by anybody. It's been verified by absolutely nobody. So, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver, why don't you pop outside and go and verify it for yourself? That would be an idea. Burke.
Which is why Google has to misrepresent the simplistic truth of this place. And this is another thing. Online globe representatives have to misrepresent you by linking you to this silly cartoon here to justify their own delusions. And of course, cover up for the fact, in their deluded minds, that they've got no science.
The globe has no science. Oh, you are a belter, you, my dear. Oh no, it's flat earth that hasn't got any science. It can't predict eclipses, earthquakes, tides, anything. It can't do anything at all of that nature. Flat earth model thinks that the moon is some sort of plasma ball in the sky. They can't even measure the distance to the sun. Can't even measure it. Not one person has done this. So, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver, here's a challenge for you. Here is your homework. Using the flat earth model, measure the distance to the sun. I'll wait.
So they have to lie, misrepresent, provide no science.
The only one lying, misrepresenting and providing absolutely no science whatsoever is you, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver.
And ultimately they're left with defending space pantomime. That's all the globe believers can do, is lie and misrepresent people like myself by attaching silliness like on our screen to myself. But it's ultimately people like myself who've killed this propaganda misrepresentation that we see on our screen.
But, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver, why don't you go outside and take some real images of this so-called flat earth that you think you live on? It's easy, it's a piece of...
If you want maps, models, full exploration all the way. Well, like I say, this flat earth propaganda version, mainstream representation, has been killed. It's dead. No one believes it, and the people that cite it or attach it to people like myself are only exposing themselves as liars. It's only getting worse and worse for the globe and the people that defend it or believe it.
Nah, it's getting worse and worse and worse for flat earthers like you because you're not providing any evidence for your claims. Nothing whatsoever. So, get off your backside, get out your crane and go and get some evidence.
It's just getting more and more desperate, more and more dishonest, and the tactics are becoming more and more obvious. Which is why online globe representatives stroke defenders, rather than cite demonstrable scientific demonstrations that can be tested and verified by all, have to defend space pantomime failures like on our screen.
Why is it a failure? Explain why. Explain away. But you can't.
And of course lie and misrepresent by presenting the propaganda version of the flat earth and attaching it to people who stand by real world demonstrable science like myself.
You wouldn't know real world demonstrable science if it bit your leg off and said, "Hello, I just bit your leg off. My name is real world demonstrable science."
Which is why I, along with many others, helped kill the propaganda version of the flat earth.
So why is it then when you type in flat earth into Google, those images still come up? Great job!
And of course, as a result, the globies are left with defending silliness like on our screen and just continuing to dig a deeper and bigger hole for themselves as they lie and misrepresent and continue to do so and cash in doing so.
And of course, flat earthers like Nathan Oakley and Mark Sargent and Eric Dubé, they don't make any money, do they? That was sarcasm, by the way.
It's really not looking good for these people. And that, of course, is why characters like Buzz, before he passes away, is trying to get rid of any inner demons by telling the truth about his part in the silly pantomime that we know as space. I'll let Buzz Aldrin, moon landing legend, finish off the video by breaking the hearts and minds of moon landing believers by simply telling you it didn't happen.
Oh no, not this old chestnut.
We'll go to the gentleman waving his hand afterwards.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Would have been terrifying, Buzz.
How would you know? When was the last time you went to the moon, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver? And nowhere does he say, going to the moon, it didn't happen. He's saying the scariest moment didn't happen. I can't believe you're going to put this out there, you've put this video out there, and your subs are lapping it up and believing everything that you say. How gullible are you lot?
Well, like you say, it didn't happen. Trust me, fella, we know. We've seen the Airfix models, the silly space pantomime performance cited as the moon landing, and of course, we've seen many of your little messages as you've got older there, highlighting how absurd the moon landing is.
Oh, you are being extremely dishonest now because nowhere has he said the moon landing was absurd at all. Not once did he say it, not once did he even imply it. You are being extremely dishonest. You are lying to your subscribers, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver.
And of course the old footage, when we review it, is terrible.
Well, that's late 1960s technology for you. Didn't have HD back then. Prat. But we've got it now, and I can't wait for man to land on the moon again and send back some spectacular images. Then you will cry into your nappies, won't you, flat earthers?
Just like globe evidence and globe believers having to lie, misrepresent people. So much so that it was people like myself who ultimately had to kill the flat earth propaganda version, and in doing so expose the globies and their misrepresentations and their lies and their propaganda even more.
And you've done absolutely no such thing whatsoever, you moron.
Time's running out, people. Globe's impossible.
No, it isn't.
This wouldn't even have been an argument online if there was demonstrable science. There isn't. It's only space pantomime and fantasies about observations in the sky.
Oh, you poor deluded little man. Go and make your own observations, Mr. Slinky, the alleged crane driver. There's nothing stopping you.
If you're talking about the shape of the earth, you deal with the earth. You don't look in the opposite direction. That's insane. Have a good one, everyone.
We don't. We look in all directions. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Massive, massive, massive shout out. A massive, massive thank you to all my patrons and channel members. We have got Alan L, Bob Sadler, Morris Gocho, District Driver, Joe H, and brand new channel member Tony. So thank you all so very, very much. So that's it. See you on the next one. I'm off now to finish my chicken flavoured pot noodle. I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra for a bit. Go on, bugger off.